Good morning, friends. Welcome to the SBI Securities morning podcast. Talking about the markets on Friday, the Sensex ended 1% lower to settle at 74,245, while the Nifty 2 corrected 1% to settle at 22,519. The mid-cap index corrected 0.6% and the small-cap index was down 0.5%. Among the major gainers, there were Divi's Lab, Bajaj Auto, Tata Motors, TCS, and Nestle India. While on the losing side, there was Sun Pharma, Maruti, Power Grid, Titan, ONGC, JSW Steel, Grasim, and Wipro. Sectorally, all the sectors ended in the red, with the metal index losing 0.6%, while the BSE services, the FMCG, healthcare, and the oil and gas index corrected more than 1% each. 138 stocks scaled 52-week highs with notable names such as ABB India, Aisha Motors, HAL, IRCTC, NTPC, and Oriana Power. While on the 52-week low side, there were 10 stocks which were trading at 52-week low with HUL, Dabur, and Best AgroLife. The market breadth was in favor of the declines, so advanced decline ratio at 1405 stocks on the advancing side to 2448 stocks on the declining side. In terms of the institutional flows, the FIIs continued to sell, so they net sold around 8027 crores. The DIIs provided the buying support, so a net buy figure of 6,341 crores. Global cues also are weak today, so all the three major US indices, the Dow Jones, Nasdaq, and the S&P 500 ended with cuts of 1.2 to 1.5% each. Geopolitical tensions have risen over the weekend with Israel-Iran tensions continuing. So Iran on Saturday night launched a barrage of missiles and drones towards Israel, and also Iran has hijacked a container ship in the Strait of Hormuz, which is a vital shipping lane in the Middle East. So the US also has rushed additional troops to the Middle East. So all this is keeping equity markets nervous, and also Brent crude prices also are trading at $90 per barrel. There are reports also that Israel is planning counter measures and retaliatory measures against this attack on Israel. So geopolitical tensions in the Middle East continue to be high. The Asian markets, as a result, are trading lower with the geopolitical tensions and the weak handover from the Wall Street, and the GIFT Nifty also is indicating a gap down opening for our market today. Coming to the economic data, so on Friday post-market hours, India's CPI for the month of March was released, which was pretty supportive for the market. So CPI for March was at a 9-month low of 4.85% YOY. Food inflation continues to be high, which was up 7.7% YOY, led by increase in prices of vegetables, pulses, and spices. But retail inflation now has been below the RBI's upper tolerance band for the 7th consecutive month, and RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das, in his address after the April MPC meeting, has also indicated that inflation is no longer the elephant in the room and has retained the inflation forecast for FY25 at 4.5%. So favorable CPI data for the Indian markets. The IIP for the month of Feb was also released, and which was also again favorable with the growth at a 4-month high of 5.7% YOY, and the key industrial sectors, mining, electricity generation, and manufacturing growing 8%, 7.5%, and 5% YOY respectively. The Jan IIP 2 was revised 30 basis points higher to 4.14% YOY. So favorable CPI and IIP data, and expect this to support our markets today. In Q4 results, so the result season has begun, and TCS reported a good set of numbers. Revenue was up 1.1% QOQ in rupee terms, while the net profit was up 12% QOQ in rupee terms. The constant currency revenue growth sequentially was up 2.2%. So the headline numbers were better than street expectations. Biggest surprise on the positive side was the operating margins, which improved 100 basis points on a quarter-on-quarter basis to 26%, which is very close to the long-term margin band of 26 to 28%. And the deal pipeline continues to be very strong, so at $13.2 billion dollars in Q4 was very strong. The attrition too has dropped, so at 12.5% in Q4 versus 13.3% in Q3. So falling attrition rates, improving margins, and overall stable revenue growth, and expect TCS to react positively today in trade. The commentary also was positive in terms of the deal pipeline. Coming to Anand Rathi Wealth, the revenue was up 29% YOY and the AUM was up 52% YOY. EBITDA improved 20% YOY and the net profit was up 33% YOY. The stock is trading at 75 times PE on a trailing 12-month basis. Overall, the numbers were extremely positive. So positive for Anand Rathi Wealth as well. Coming to other stock-specific news, Power Grid, the company will consider raising up to 12,000 crores via NCDs on a private placement basis at its board meeting on 17th April. So positive for Power Grid. Patanjali Foods reported its Q4 quarterly update, and the volume in Q4 experienced mid-single digit growth on a YOY basis, while the revenue showed a modest single digit growth. So neutral to negative for Patanjali Foods. ISMT, the metal company, received two orders worth 344 crores from ONDC for the supply of casing pipes. So positive for ISMT. Granules India will be in focus. The US FDA inspected its Andhra Pradesh facility between 8th to 12th April, and the inspection has ended with zero observations, so positive for Granules India. Rail Vikas Nigam, or RVNL, also will be in focus. The company has received a letter of acceptance for works in connection with the new line project of North Frontier Railway. So the project cost is 95 crores, so positive for RVNL. Emphasis also will be in focus. The company has signed a multi-year global strategic collaboration with Amazon Web Services, so positive for Emphasis. Varun Beverages has started commercial production of soft drinks and energy drinks at its Gorakhpur plant in UP, so positive for Varun Beverages as it adds to incremental capacity ahead of the peak summer season. Lemon Tree Hotels has announced the opening of a Lemon Tree resort in Nepal, so positive for Lemon Tree Hotels as well. Metal stocks will be in focus. The US has imposed sanctions on use of Russian metals on the London Metal Exchange, which is the key price setter globally. So expect a positive reaction on metal stocks as metal prices could rise in the short term, particularly of aluminium, copper, zinc, and other metals which are traded on the LME. Gas stocks and power stocks will be in focus. The government has invoked Section 11 of the Electricity Act, wherein it has mandated the gas-based power plants in India to operate at full capacity to meet the summer electricity demand. So NTPC, Torrent Power, GAIL, as well as Petronet LNG expect a positive reaction for all these stocks. Coal India will be in focus. The government has set a target of producing 170 million tons of coal from captive and commercial coal blocks in FY25, which is higher than the 147 million tons achieved in FY24. So positive for Coal India. HFCL, the company's subsidiary, has bagged an order of around 65 crores to supply optic fiber cables. So positive for HFCL. Senco Gold, the company reported its fourth quarter update where it has achieved a 39% YOY revenue growth, and for the full year FY24 the revenue growth stands at 28% YOY, so positive for Senco Gold as well. Kolte Patil developers also will be in focus. The company has clocked highest ever annual sales value of 2800 crores, which was up 26% YOY, so positive for Kolte Patil developers. Grindwell Norton, the company has started commercial production at its engineered ceramics facility at the Halol plant, so positive for Grindwell Norton as well. The Commerce Ministry has issued advisory to all e-commerce websites to remove all drinks and beverages from the category of health drinks on their platforms. So this will impact the likes of Bonvita, Complan, and other health food drinks, and which is negative for HUL, Dabur, and Zydus Wellness. Coming to bulk deals, so Subex, Ashapura Commodities sold 36.8 lakh shares or 0.65% stake at 30.6 rupees per share. And in pledge share details, Apollo Microsystems will be in focus. The promoter, Karunakar Reddy, has revoked the pledge of 1.1 crore shares on 11th April. So, release of pledge is positive for Apollo Microsystems. So that's all in the morning podcast today. Have a great trading session. Thank you.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.